So meeting up with friends and family, going to the gym, restrictions, since they were first put in place, you may well be thinking about all the things you did before and putting into perspective all those bits that were really important to you. New research has compiled the top 50 things that we take for granted. To discuss this further is Jane Stoneham from Sensory Trust. Hello, Jane.
Hi, Ed. It's very,
Thank you so much for joining me. So let's start with you before we get into this. I love a bit of research, by the way, so I'm very excited about hearing some research. But firstly, what about you? What have you missed the most?
Well, do you know what? I think I'm not going to come up with things that are very different to what came back from the survey responses. And, it's going to be a lot of very ordinary things. If we look at, what people said they were going to miss, it can seem extraordinarily mundane, can't it? But
I'm just looking at the list
quite,
now. Yeah, and I know what you mean. I mean, like you've got, number 38, your own desk and chair at work. I mean, that's the thing. And it is simple pleasures, isn't it? Simple things like that we have been missing.
Yeah, it is the simple pleasures. It's the day to day. But I think what strikes us about it is that it's the common theme, isn't it? That as people we want and need a connection with other people and with the world around us. So number 2 on the list is seeing people without masks again. And number 6 is smiling at someone. These are things that are so basic, but they're so important to us. And if you think about the mask one, of course, for some people, masks have been especially challenging, haven't they? If you've got a hearing loss, quite often you'll rely on seeing people's lips move when they're speaking and for lip reading. So to suddenly have that closed off, it's quite a sudden disconnect with other people, and I think that's really what has come through a lot. And then
I mean, that's certainly, it seems like one of the big things that's come from the research is that people have missed that human contact the most. Is there anything surprising though on the list that you've noticed?
Oh, do you know what? I think what does surprise me is the commute to work and being stuck in traffic. And I think there's one that smells of a football ground. Now, I have to say, I didn't expect to see that there. But once you read them, you think, oh yeah, it doesn't mean that all these things are necessarily the most beautiful thing you can imagine. But they are the things that define us, aren't they? They're the things that are like, oh yeah, you know what? That's my ordinary day. That's my life. And I think it's about us feeling like we know that we've got a place in our communities. We know who we are. We've got a sense of where we are and who we spend our time with. I've been surprised as well, actually, in a really nice way at how much the outdoors and nature and connecting with all of that has been highlighted. Massive uplift in gardening and growing things, and it's just, I think that's really great to see all that going on.
We all like a list though, don't we? And I for one, certainly have been making a list of things I would like to do when we're allowed to do things like that again. So, I mean, how important do you think it is to have a little list to keep you going?
Oh, I love a list too. Absolutely love a list. And I think, do you know what? One of the things I really hope for in all of this, and I say this to myself, is that I hope we don't let go of the best things that we've found through all this year, because there have been really important things, I think, that we've all appreciated. I mean, for me, just slowing down and noticing detail, and taking more sort of break from screen time and things like that, really important. And I don't want to let go of it. And I'm slightly fearful that when we sort of bounce into something different. So a list is absolutely, have a list of those things that you want to keep hold of.
Well, certainly. I've got my list. You've got yours. We're all good to go. Thank you very much, Jane Stoneham from Sensory Trust, telling us about the top 50 things that we'll no longer be taking for granted. It's BBC Radio Nottingham.